You would miss your skill shots. Yes, dude. Oh my god, yes. So, in Diamond, it's so easy to predict people. Because I played in Diamond so long. Like, you saw last game, right? When I played Thresh. I was able to hit every single hook, or like 90% of my hooks. But when I go to Gold, I cannot hit anything at all. Because people just do the most ridiculous stuff. Like, sometimes they'll just walk in a straight line. Like, sometimes they'll just do a really weird dodge. But when it's Diamond, like, when people are smart and they know which way is efficient, then I can predict it much easier. And I'm used to that, you know? And that's something that a lot of people don't understand. Not that concept by itself, but, like, in general, that every elo should be played different, right? Like, just like with the skill shot thing. In Diamond, you're not gonna, you know, do the same skill shots as you would in Gold just because people dodge differently. And it's not skill shots, like, by themselves either. It's everything, like decision making, like how you should be playing. And Diamond, you know, we're not going for kills as much. We're farming. We're making less mistakes. Whereas in Gold, like, I could go for kills all day long. So each elo has a different playstyle. There's no, like, 100% correct playstyle to climb. Oh, hey. Oh, noob. Hey, what's up, man? Dennis,
hey.
You joined the call. Hey, man.
So, I have a couple things that, like, there are a couple champions I'm really bad at fighting as Riven, mostly Garen. And I'm also very bad at, like, escaping ganks. Like, even though, like, I'll have a ward down, but it's just, like, really hard to notice, and then when they do end up coming into my vision, I normally die from a gank. So I was thinking maybe we can get my friend in and he can just farm mid or whatever while we're doing our things top, and you can ping him to gank and you can tell me, like, how I can escape it or what I should have done to escape it, or if I didn't do that I would have died, like, you know?
Yeah, we can do that if you want to, but I think that's not really something that's mechanical. I think it's more of just like mentality. Like, you just have to remember to check your map often so that you're looking at your wards. And the best recommendation I'd have for that is maybe just play a game or two where that's all you focus on. Like, constantly, like, every single second, just remind yourself, like, I need to look at my map, I need to look at my map. And if you go through an entire game like that, or like 2 games, 3 games, then you're gonna get used to it. And you know, just be second nature, check your map often.
Okay,
and once you get even better, you can start, like, detecting when there's differences, right? So you'll see portraits as soon as they appear, just because it's something that changed on the map. But that's something that's, like, completely muscle memory, I guess, or, like, second nature. Yeah. It's not something I can really teach. But yeah, I mean, if you want to try that, then we can do that for sure, if you feel like that'd help you.
He wants to join the Discord, though. Yeah, I don't know if you...
Yeah, that's fine.
allow that, or... Okay.
Yeah, just,
give him the instant invite, or?
Yeah, that should be fine. It doesn't expire for 30 minutes, so...
Okay.
And let me add on another slot here. Okay, there we go. We're good.
Nice.
So yeah, usually in custom games, I know it's called a 1v1/custom, but usually I just go over stuff. If you want to 1v1, then we can. But usually I just go over topics and we just talk about it as we're playing. And if there's, like, if I need to give you, like, a visual representation, then I can do that in game. That makes it really easy for that.
Yeah.
But did you hear what I said about the money as well?
I don't think so.
So you gave me $3, but the first lesson's only $1. So if you want, we can do, like, 3, we can do 2 of the 1v1s, or if you want, we could just have that as, like, credit towards another lesson. So you do this 1v1, and then you pay, like, $3 if you want another lesson later down the road, or, like, $8 for the, you know, for the live game. So it's kind of up to you with how you want to do that.
Join Bloodsteam. I mean, I'm not very good at fighting Pantheon. There are quite a bit I'm not very good at. Maokai, Garen, Pantheon. Teemo is fine, I guess, but level 6 I shit on him, but other than that, like, 1 to 6, it's pretty rough. Or 1 to 5, it's pretty rough.
Okay. So do you want me to play Riven or do you want me to play one of the counters?
Probably Garen, I'd say.
Okay.
Who's your biggest like counter against Riven? Like who are you bad at, or like?
Kennen and Teemo.
Kennen?
I should be good at Teemo. Like Teemo's not really a counter, you just have to know how to play it, and I don't.
Yeah. I know how to play him. Play really passive, and then as soon as I get 6 all in, and I normally win from that.
Yeah.
Just Garen,
really
I guess, would be good.
Alright. Yeah, we can do Garen. Riven actually does really well against Garen, and there's one like tiny little trick that that I can give you that will just it's not even that. It's like super general. It's literally just keep fighting. Like keep fighting. If he goes in on you, he's using it. Oh god, wait, hold on a second. Where does Garen go? I'll do that. Okay. If he goes in on you, like he's using his abilities, right? And what happens after he uses his abilities?
They're on CDR.
Yeah, they're on cooldown, and Garen's cooldowns are really long, right? His W is like 23 seconds early. His Q is gonna be like 8 seconds, 9 seconds, and then his E is gonna be around the same time. So it's 8 or 9 seconds that like he can't do anything but auto you. So what do? You just keep trading with them, wait for your spell rotations again, and then just go back in on him. And that's it. That's the trick. You do lose like level 1 trades against him, so you shouldn't be fighting him like level 1 or level 2. But once you get level 3, if he tries to fight you, then keep fighting him. And I guess something else that would kind of supplement like winning trades would be to be conscious of his W. When he uses his W, like he can soak a lot of damage and get a lot of free damage off on you, so you should just back off.
Yeah, I tend to just kind of run around or like stay out of his auto range when he does that, and then I'll like re-engage with my Q or something.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, like I said, all you have to do is keep fighting him. You can't be scared of his burst, because after his burst, like there's nothing. He can only auto you.
Yeah.
And this is early. Obviously, if it's in the late game and you're like really far behind or something, then you know, then there's other factors that go into that, and maybe trading isn't the best option for you, like forcing a long trade like that. But so if it's early game, no, that's fine. What were you gonna say?
Normally I take Thunderlords against Garen because I don't really take long trades, like third Q auto E stun to get away, you know.
Oh yeah, that's one of your issues. You should be going Fervor
against a Garen.
Because like I said, if he goes in on you, like you just want to keep fighting, because the longer the fight goes on with Fervor, like the more you're gonna win it. Because at full stacks you get 64 damage with Fervor each time you use any ability or auto attack him. So obviously that's gonna add up and do a lot more damage than just the like 200 to 300 bursts that Thunderlords gives you.
You went Zed? Oh my! I thought you were gonna go like Graves or something, like a jungler. Rip.
Oh.
So yeah, so another thing that I see a lot of low elo players will get impatient. Don't feel like you're obligated to get early CS. Like if you're up against a counter, sometimes you have to give up CS just so you don't take free harass. Because if you go for CS and you take like 100 damage each time you go for CS, eventually you're gonna have to back pretty early on, and you're gonna waste your TP. Whereas I can save my TP, get some damage off, and come back and have an item advantage and a massive lead in the lane. So you want to save that for a while and just don't take harass early. And then after you get, you know, level 3, level 2, once you get your shield, you can start farming a lot more safely and you know, get farmed from there. But until that point, like, you just want to give up CS if it means taking too much harass for it. And if you start your E or something, like you can farm with your E, like if you're up against Teemo. But you shouldn't just walk up and go for farm against Teemo, because he'll destroy you. Yeah, like right here, you shouldn't be taking this. You're just getting impatient. So you don't want to fight Garen at all until level 3, because level 3 is where you have like you have a reliable kit. If he goes in on you and you can't win the trade, like you can just back off if you want to. But you also have like all your abilities up that'll proc your passive, so it makes you really strong in that sense as well.
Did your Q just cancel?
No. Oh. They hit you. I think I canceled the animation. I'm not sure though.
I thought I saw it go off on a minion and then you did it to me.
Oh yeah. If you stop the auto attack, yeah. Nice. Good Ross. So yeah, once you're level 3, you can take short trades, like that's fine. But if you're full HP and I'm full HP and I go in on you, you should just keep fighting with me if you have fervor. Because I'm going to use my cooldowns and I won't have anything after that. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that Garen counters Riven, but it's actually the exact opposite. Riven's actually really, really strong against Garen. You just have to be patient and wait for your spike. Oh, you took Ignite. Nice. Nice. That was good.
Thanks.
So yeah, I mean, that's all there is to it, you know? If he goes in, you just continue fighting. But once again, you have to wait until that level 3 mark before you start doing that. Because if you do it early, like you did here, if I was a good Garen, and you took a lot of that harass early, you know, the lane would have been over from there. Like I could have killed you, or did the thing again with the teleport and gotten an item advantage. So early, you don't want to be taking any harass at all, even if it means giving up minions. But once again, once we get to that level 3 mark, then we can start playing more aggressive. And something to keep in mind about that as well is that you want XP. So XP is really important, but we don't need the gold. The gold's not so important early. So I would recommend maybe going into your settings and turning on the XP thing that shows you when XP pops up. And that way you know when you're in XP range. But I mean, XP range is pretty big, so...
I have that on.
I do not.
Alright, so how do you want me to do the, like, how do you want to do the whole gank thing? Like, should I just...
I don't know.
You just want me to ping him whenever? Okay.
Yeah, because I'm not really good at, like, surviving ganks. I die almost all the time unless... like, if it's like this, I normally die.
Yeah, something that I have that's like a trigger for me going to ward is whenever I push past this point here, this halfway point in the lane, I always, like as soon as I push past that, I always remind myself to ward. It's something I started to do at the beginning, and then once again, like, I just got really used to it. It just came second nature to me. So that's something you could do that would help you remember, as well as just have some kind of trigger that'll help you, like, help remind you to ward. Like, maybe after you clear, like, 2 waves or something, or I mean, you could do the same thing once you push past that halfway point in the lane. Yeah, I mean, it's a little thing that might help you a little bit with that. Another thing you can do is just change up your playstyle so ganks aren't even an issue. I mean, that's what I do. Like, I play a lot like I play like a garbage abdo, pretty much. I don't really, like early, I let people push into me. That way the level, you know, the 2 minute and 40-second gank, like, there's nothing for them to do because I'm at my tower. So 90% of my games, like, there's not even an option for them to gank me early. So you can do that as well. And also the thing, like I said, about, you know, just reminding yourself a worst case scenario, you know? Just assume if you don't have vision, if you don't have information, then that jungler is going to be there. And just remind yourself of that threat. I rub my butt when I need to ward. I mean, if it works, dude. If it works, you can do whatever. Yeah, good. Nice. That was actually really good timing on that gank, because you pushed up there. So that's good.
I know.
And you completely evaded it, too.
He warded it?
Yeah, it's definitely warded. So I didn't play any differently or anything. You just start backing up. But yeah, something that'll help you out too is get deeper wards. Like, a lot of people feel like you have to ward that little bush there, but I like to. Yeah, well, I don't know about there. I like to ward like here. And he probably can't see that, but I ward deeper in the river. Because, you know, like, you don't have an obligation to ward in the bush, and sometimes the bush ward isn't fast enough. Like, if you're up against a Rammus or a Zac, they can close that distance so fast that, like, it doesn't even matter. So you need deeper wards for those kind of people. And it's always worth it to take an extra second just to guarantee your safety. So, you know, even when it's not, like when it doesn't come down to wards, like, cheeses, for example, like late game, getting caught out from bushes and stuff, that never happens to me. Because I always take the longest route possible just to ensure that I'm safe. Even if it takes like an extra 10 seconds or so, like, it guarantees my safety and that, you know, I'm not giving up an advantage that I don't need to.
Yeah.
Is there any more questions you have? Anything else I can really answer?
What? Oh, wave control. Like, I know most of the things, like, if it's pushed on, like, that halfway point, it pushes onto the other side. Like, if it's just, like, left by its, like, lonesome. But what about if it's, let's say it's pushing towards your tower, and you're attacking the minions? What does it do? Does it push to me, or does it stay with you?
What rank are you?
Silver 2.
Oh yeah, you probably don't have to worry too much about wave management. There's a lot of bigger issues that you probably have concerning like decision making. But if you want, like, I can still go over it if you want me to.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. So if you have 2 even waves, the minions do the exact same amount of damage, right? And you always get the same exact types of minions. Like, if there's a cannon in my wave, there's gonna be a cannon in your wave. So that means if there's any opposition, if there's any change whatsoever, it forces one of the waves to push, because it changes that, you know, that equilibrium. So if I go and I auto a minion when it's a completely even wave, then I'm forcing my minions to push into your lane, your minions. And it might be very slight. Like, it might be, you know, I have one minion that survives by extra, like, 60 health. But, you know, it forces it to push. And the next wave, like each wave after that, it'll just push harder and harder until eventually I have a massive wave built up.
Yeah.
So that's something you can keep in mind. That's why it's really important that you don't just go around and auto minions when you want to freeze a wave. Because sometimes you might put that wave in a situation where you can't even freeze it anymore. So you have to be really careful about that. But what exactly do you have trouble with, like, when it comes to wave management? Like, what do you want me to go over? There's honestly a lot to cover, and I feel like we don't need to go over a lot of the...
Yeah, there's just a couple questions, but you've pretty much covered them so far. But I seem to die a lot, like, a lot, and when it goes into the late game, I find like fuck you, Jack. I find like a really awkward situation. I'm like, okay, what do I do? Do I keep pushing? Do I split push? Do I go get dragon? Do I push bot? Like,
okay, I'm glad you asked that, because that's one of the most important things when it comes to decision making. Like, that's a really important situation to know. So, like, what's standing in between us and a victory screen right now? And this is really general. Like, what stands between us and winning the game?
Like, what stands between me and you and winning the game?
No,
like,
just between you and ending the game right now. What stands between you and ending the game?
The enemies?
Even broader than that. Like, if you could do one thing.
Summoner's Rift? I don't know.
If you could do one thing right now to end the game, what would that be?
Walk up to the Nexus and attack it?
Exactly. So the Nexus is our main priority, because that's what stands between us and ending the game. So then after that, we want to go for what leads us to the Nexus, which is the objectives. So objectives are going to be our main priority over anything. And because the objectives are hard to take early, our priority even more so than that is what helps us lead to objectives. So kills, CS, items, whatever leads to objectives is what we want to focus on. So we go for that first, and then we focus on the objectives after that.
I meant to ult backwards, don't worry about it.
So team fights are probably the most important thing in this game, just because that leads to us getting items, it leads to us having advantage, and we can turn that advantage into objectives. And when it comes to objectives, you want to be going for the most obtainable, or like the easiest obtainable objective, just because it's free gold. Like if you have, let's say you take top tower, right, and mid and bot tower is still up, it's better that you go mid and go for the mid tower than to keep pushing top. Because if you keep pushing top, you're not going to have a really good opportunity to get that tower, because it's easier for them to get to that tower and to stop you from getting it. So, you know, if you're put in a scenario where you have your tower and everyone else's towers are up, go roam to another lane, help them get their outer tower, and just work your way around the map like that. Go for the easiest obtainable objectives, and then just keep abusing that over and over. And that's all your focus is when it comes to objectives. And then, like I said, team fights are probably the most important aspect of this game, because they turn into leads that will help you get objectives later on. Now, if you win a team fight, that means that you can win the next team fight. And if you can win the next team fight, then you can get an objective. And if you get an objective, like, you're getting closer to the Nexus. So, if you have to choose between getting a few minions, getting a few CS, or grouping for a possible team fight, you know, like maybe your team might get, there's a possibility that they can get caught out, then you want to just go ahead and group, because team fighting is way more important. But when it comes to like split pushing, you said you don't know when to split push either. Split pushing is good when you just can't close out the game. Like when you don't, maybe when you can't siege really well. Like if you don't have a siege comp and they're always like pushing waves out. So if you can't really get to that like one of the tier 1 towers, just because they keep pushing the waves out, then you want to split push and just apply pressure. And make sure that you have TP as well. That's like one of the most important parts. Because if you don't have TP, then if your team fights mid, you can't be in that fight. So you want to make sure you have TP, and if you don't, just group with your team. But yeah, I mean, if you ever can't get an objective, then, you know, like one of the inhibitors or something like that, or one of the inhibitor towers, then try and split push and just put pressure on the map. And essentially what happens with split pushing is that, let's say you're ahead of your opponent, and, you know, you're able to win your lane. Obviously, they can't 1v1 you. And if they can't 1v1 you, then you can get objectives after you kill them. So they either have to give up objectives, or they have to send another person top lane to stop you. And if they send another person top, then it's going to be a 3v4 in the mid lane. And then your teammates are going to have an advantage if they force a fight. So that's kind of how split pushing works. So it's really strong when you're ahead. But I mean, you should I think it's okay when you're behind as well. Because like, for example, if you feed the top laner like 10 kills, and this is an exaggeration, but let's say the enemy top laner is 10-0, and you're
it happens a lot.
Oh, and yeah, it happens to everyone, dude. Don't even like worry about it. But if you're 0-10, enemy top laner is 10-0, and let's say the score is like 20-15 or something like that, and your team's behind. If you go to the top lane and you keep, let's say it's a Darius in the top lane, that's 10 kills on the enemy team that's up top, whereas it's 0 of your kills. So now the score in a 4v4 scenario, instead of being 20-15, now it's 15-10, and your team has the advantage. So split pushing is good when you're really far behind, and it's good when you're really far ahead. Just because of your pressure. So does that answer that, or is there something you have questions about?
I'm understanding a lot more things.
Okay. Sorry, I was interrupting you. Yeah, but I mean, if anything doesn't make sense, I can, you know, just tell me. Don't be afraid to ask or anything like that, and I can explain it better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's one thing that's really big on learning, is just accept that what you know could be entirely wrong, and you want to be, you know, you want to have a mentality where you're open to change. And that way, you know, you can improve a lot more. And when it comes to mentality, a lot of people have issues with that. Like, a lot of people really hate when they lose. And I gotta say, like, if you lose 3 or 4 times in a row, it's pretty frustrating. But there is something good about losing. and it's the fact that you lost. Like, there's always something to learn from when you lose. So, you know, it just makes you a better player if you understand that you lost for a reason, and whatever that thing is that caused you to lose, you need to focus on that and improve on that for your next game. So yeah, I mean, if you lose, like, try and look at what you did wrong, and then try to improve on it on the next game, and it'll make you a lot better of a player. Like, that's what helped me to get from plat to diamond, honestly. Just looking at my mistakes. If you want to get better, you gotta be humble.
I'm toxic as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at it this way. If you had... Are you a Riven main?
Yes.
Okay, so if you had Adrian Riven in every single one of your games, do you think there would ever be an excuse for him to lose?
Yes.
No, there. Even if he had an AFK, he wouldn't lose. You said you're silver, so there'd never be a scenario where he'd lose, even if he was like 1v5ing.
His internet goes down.
I mean, that's not. I mean, I guess, but that's, you know. I mean, like.
I had to do it. I'm sorry.
Okay, alright, you got me on that one. I don't know what to say to that. Okay, not counting something like technical. Like, even if you have AFKs, or you have teammates that are 0 and 10, he's gonna carry no matter what. So that means if you play like him, like, you can climb. So it's not your teammates that are standing in your way of climbing, it's, you know, it's you. If you become a better player, then it doesn't matter how your teammates play, you'll carry them either way.
I understand that, but it just seems like my bot lane tends to just 0-7 in like 5 minutes, and I'll just kind of be like, oh.
And like I said, there's always something that you can do that can help you carry. So if your bot lane's going 0-7 constantly, then why aren't you stopping them from going 0-7? You have
I'm also 0-7.
Well, we can figure that out. Like that's probably a different issue. But you know, if you have TP, you have a lot of map pressure. So like if bot lane gets ganked early and I think they're about to die, then I TP bot. And even if I like even if it's not a good TP and I have to end up canceling it, at least I stop them from dying, and now they can farm up or they can recall.
Oh yeah, true.
So there's always stuff you can do to impact your team. Like, let's say your mid lane's feeding, then stop them from feeding by roaming mid often. So you really just have to impact your team if that's what's, you know, if that's the trouble you're having.
Hey, man! Should I max my E or my W?
You should max your...
I tend to max my E.
Second?
Yeah.
You should max E second if like you're afraid of dying, but if you're really far ahead, you can max W for the damage. I usually like I almost always max E because I like to like play as like a safe like it's better to be safe than sorry kind of mindset. But if I'm really far ahead, I'm not afraid I'll die at all, then I'll max W second just for the damage. But yeah, is there any more questions you have?
Jack, go Graves next time. I'm going to the jungle. Sure.
Jack, is there anything, like, while you're here, is there anything you want answered? Is there any problems you have?
You move to Dustblade first. On Zed.
On Zed?
I was told if you're confident in your landing your Qs, get Emus. If you're not so confident, get Dustblade because you can rely on the auto to finish.
I think Dustblade's only strong against melee champs, because then you can melee them a lot more and not get punished for it. But if you're up against like an Orianna, she's not gonna let you get in melee range, and when you do, she's gonna punish you for it. So I think Ghostblade's stronger for ranged opponents, and Dustblade's stronger for people you can just run up and auto, because then you can proc your Dustblade more.
I usually proc it by like doing the combo. It usually kills them.
I mean, you can do that, but the thing is that you have to. Well, I don't know.
That.
I guess that's not bad. Okay, maybe that's not the right. So I guess.
Usually, if it's Ori, I win.
Yeah.
I do that combo and they die.
I would say you're right, actually. I would just get Yomus if you're comfortable landing your Qs on, or like landing your combo.
It makes your roaming easier too.
Yeah, that as well. I like Youmuu's a lot better just because it has better utility, but Duskblade has way better damage. So if you're comfortable like in getting kills and getting your combos and stuff off, then you can go Duskblade. Sorry, Pharaoh, I haven't been answering you, but give me a minute. Yeah, is there anything else I can answer for you guys? Oh, you said you had trouble in lane, right? Or like you feed a lot?
Me?
Well, we already went over the gank thing. Unless you still want me to... do you think that'll still be an issue for you? Or is there something you want me to go over regarding that?
I mean, if I get that memory thing in my head about, like, warding. Like, it's 240, right? That's when, like, the normal gank is? Like, the level 3.
Usually it's 245, but there's some fast clear junglers, so I just do it at 240. But yeah, 240 is pretty good. And then after that, just remember, like, you know, just give yourself a trigger or something and remind yourself to ward, or check your map every 2 seconds and remind yourself to do that. There's actually, like, there's like a YouTube video that has a sound that kind of tells you to check your map or whatever, so that might help you. But with lane, if you're having trouble winning lane, the best advice I can give you to winning lane is cooldowns. I think cooldowns and mana are probably the most valuable things to like take advantage of as a laner. Because obviously if you don't have abilities, then and the opponent does, then the opponent has the advantage. And vice versa. And then with mana as well, like if they don't have mana, then you have an advantage there. So anytime they use a key ability, they don't have that ability in the next fight, and you want to take advantage of that. Even if you're not killing them, you can use that to poke them and get free poke off. Let's say I go up into IQ a minion. Well, now I don't have my Q. Like, sure, I have my E and my W, and that will do a little bit of damage to you and keep me a little healthier, but you're still gonna win the trade because you have a huge ability advantage over me. So that's probably the best advice in lane that I can give you. And you know, the way you get good with that is just like constantly abuse it as soon as it appears. Like, some people would abuse it selectively, like sometimes they'll remember to abuse it and sometimes they won't. But the difference between them and like good players is that good players will always abuse it. Every time there's a scenario like that, they'll always jump on it and always take advantage of that.
Okay. Are we doing another?
That's up to you. Like I said, we can do another one if you want to, or we can have that as credit towards another lesson, like have the extra, you know, the $2 extra towards another lesson. But if you want to do another one, like another 1v1,
yes.
I would probably just make sure you have like questions and stuff prepared, because you know, if it's only gonna be 5 minutes long, then it's kind of a waste.
Yeah, true. I'm trying to think what I'm like really bad at. I'm also really confused on why my win rate is not very is bad, but I've just been like climbing.
What do you mean?
My win rate's 45%, I think.
Yeah, your KDA is actually pretty good. Like, it's almost at 2, which is pretty decent. So that kind of tells me that it's just objectives. Like, you're just not, you know, making the right decisions when it comes to objectives. And I kind of briefly went over decision making, but honestly, it's kind of hard to do in a custom game. It's better if there's a scenario that I can go over, because it kind of like lays down the groundwork for me. It's kind of hard to say like when you should be pushing and when you should not be, compared to like actually seeing an example of it and then, you know, playing it out from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, your main objective should be whatever's most easiest obtainable for you in terms of objectives. So if you're top lane and there's nothing else for you to do around the map, or like you're just trying to duel your opponent, you're just trying to get farm or whatever, what's easiest for you is the top tower. But let's say you run back to your tower, and there's an opportunity bot lane to teleport. So you go and teleport, and you get a double kill. Now that that opportunity for, or that objective for you has changed. Now the most easiest objective for you is the bot lane tower. So now you focus the bot lane tower. And even if you don't kill it, it's fine. Like, even if you only get like 500 damage off or whatever on it, that's fine, because that leads to, that's damage that will help you get it later on. Like, damage that you won't have to worry about later on.
Yeah.
So.
Are there any, like, random advice that you tell people that are mighty low that they're like, oh yeah, or like, that help them out?
I think I about got everything. Oh, your first teleport, 90% of the time you want to use it for your lane, but if there's like a gank or something going on bot lane, you can use it. Like, I wouldn't teleport bot. I think it's bad to teleport bot unless you can guarantee that you're going to get a kill out of it early, just because you're going to lose a lot of CS for doing so. So I like to do like zoning TPs. So if the enemy jungler is ganking bot, I'll teleport preemptively to scare him off and to show them that like I have pressure there, or that I might be coming there. And then after he backs off, I just cancel it right away. And that way it goes on a faster cooldown. And I'm not going all the way to the bot lane and then just recalling and walking back up to top lane. Like, I'm still in the top lane, so I can still get that CS and stuff.
When's the best time to build Bruiser compared to Assassin Riven?
Assassin, I only build if the enemy is complete, like, if their entire comp squishy. Other than that, I love to build Bruiser just because it's safe and it's reliable. It's like a lot of my games.
Sterix.
Descents, Black Cleaver. I don't like Sterix because it's not that good. It's good against burst, but that's about it. So I like to go Frozen Mallet, like that's my tanky item of choice. And then GA is like a core item. You always want to get that, like 4th or 5th item if you can. Sometimes even 3rd if you're really far ahead. And yeah, I mean, I think that's about it. Just I love Frozen Mallet because it gives utility. Like, you slow carries, so if you get onto a carry or you get onto a tank, you can slow them so that your own carry can kite them. But from there, if you get fed or something, then you can get like a Hydra, you can get, something bursty. You could even go for like a Bloodthirster if you're a bruiser, just for the sustain it gives you. So it's all really really situational. And I have a guide that I can link you to this to after this lesson on my YouTube channel. It's not very good, it's not very structured, but I go through a lot of items and stuff, so that might help you out.
How can I tell if I should like give if I gank bot, do I always give the kill to the ADC, or do I take the kill, or are there different situations when they should take it compared to me?
It really depends on how confident you are. If you're confident that you can do something with that kill, that you can snowball your lane, it like if you know you can win your lane from that point, from getting that kill, then by all means go for it. Because if you win your lane, now you, like, as soon as you get that top tower, now you're open to roam around the map and put pressure around the map and help your teammates get their towers. So if you can use that to get an advantage, then take it. But if you're up against someone that you're not confident winning against, like a Kennen, every single time there's a kill opportunity, I'm going to give it to someone else that I'm more confident like has, can get more value out of it. Unless there isn't anybody. If it's between me and the support, then I'll take it. But if it's the 80 carry, someone like that, someone that can carry, then I'm gonna let them have that kill. Like last game, if you're watching my last game, I had a Vayne on my team that carried really hard. And early on, if I had a lot of TPs down bot, which I didn't, but if I did, I would have given the kills to her because who was I up against?
Did you guys end up winning though?
Yeah, we did.
Wow. It was like 6-16, wasn't it?
Yeah, but our late game was nuts. But I mean, yeah,
nice.
Just give it to whoever gets the most value out of it, whether that's you or your teammates.
Fuck, I had some questions I forgot. Oh.
Roll.
When should I, like, you know, like, flash, third Q, all that shit? Like, what would be the best, rolls for the enemy team to hit? Like, ADC and, like, mid, right? Like, the squishies mostly, to take them out.
Okay, so first of all, don't flash third Q. That's super unreliable. I would always flash and then W. And then if you want to use your third Q, use it after. Unless you're like 100% sure you can land your third Q. Or if you like ult before that and the range is expanded. Because it's kind of unreliable. Like sometimes you might Q backwards even though you don't like actually Q backwards just because it bugs out. So I like to flash and stun. But if you're confident you can do it, then do it. But who you should be focusing really depends on like what kind of
Who's fed?
Yeah, I guess that and like what your objective is in a team fight. So there's really like 3 or 4 playstyles as Riven. First one's obviously Assassin. If you play Assassin, your main objective is to flank the enemy team and go for the carries.
Yeah.
Whatever the carries are, whoever's most fed, you want to take them out of the fight first because they're the most productive. They have the most value on the enemy team, so you want to take them out of the fight first. When you're a bruiser, you just want to stay in the fight and deal damage, and then if you have an opportunity to, jump in on one of those carries. But you want to stay sort of at the front line and just soak damage, because that damage is going to you instead of one of your carries. So you soak that damage and then... that's fine. You pop the GA, and they're out of the fight while that GA is down. And I think GA's somewhat bad late game if if your team has a lot of CC, for example, because you can, as soon as they get out of that GA, you can just CC them, and so that like they're dead. The GA was pointless. So I mean, yeah, like if you can pop their GA, then pop that. Keeps them out of the fight for a few seconds, and then when they come back, they're gonna be they're gonna be half HP, and they won't have their GA, and that that makes it even easier to kill them. And then the last one would just be tank. And like my last game, like I went tank. I was in a scenario where I was really far behind, and I knew for a fact I wouldn't do that much damage. So I decided that I'd go tank, and I'd peel for my carry. And that's what I did. We had a Vayne on our team. She never died in any team fight after I went, or she died once actually. She died once in all the team fights and like the 5 or 6 team fights we had when I went tank. Just because I wanted to make sure she didn't die. And as long as she keeps getting damage off, she's a hyper carry. So as long as she keeps getting that damage off, like we're gonna win a fight. As long as she does that, she doesn't die.
Whenever I like, but not all the time, but sometimes when I like get the ADC from behind in like a team fight, my team never knows how to like push off of that or like make use out of it. They're just like, okay, the ADC's dead, but like they don't think that. They just keep. A lot of people, they'll focus tanks randomly, and I'll say, like, get the ADC, or, get the mid, but they'll just kill whoever's really closest, and that really, like, tilts me. And I don't...
Okay, so communication unlucky, I guess. Is really, really important. For everything, not just team fighting. Like, if your teammates are getting ganked, if you see someone on the map, then spam ping that they're there, and tell your team to be careful. And I say spam ping because they're not going to pay attention to 1 or 2 pings. Like, you want to make sure you spam so that even if they get annoyed, at least they're aware of whatever's happening, whatever you're trying to tell them. But with team fights too, like if you want to focus someone, then spam ping who you want them to focus, or communicate to them beforehand. Like, tell them which order you want to focus people in. Tell them, if we want to win, we need to get this Vayne first, and then we need to get Maokai, or not Maokai, then we need to get Jace, and then we need to get, just keep going down and explain to them who we should be focusing in what order, and that way everyone's on the same mindset.
Okay.
And something I guess that's really important too is, as Riven, if you want to engage for whatever reason, like, you need to communicate that as well. Because if the mindset of your team is, we've lost this battle, like it's done. Like, we should just go back to Fountain, get our health back, and then start fresh. But yours is, I can turn this, you know, all these guys have 300 HP, I have my ult, I have my flash, I can go in on this, and you go in, no one else is going to be prepared for that. But if you tell them beforehand, if you spam ping, if you communicate with them, and tell them beforehand that you want to go in on it, then they can prepare for it, and then, you know, it's going to be more valuable. That engage is going to be a lot more valuable.
What do I do against someone who just builds full armor? Would I just focus on ganking?
Yeah, focus on roaming. I'd assume that's what
Just
you're talking
roam.
about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just roam. You can try to duel them if, like, you get, like, a cleaver. But honestly, it's not even worth it. I would just focus on roaming and try to, you know, help the other, your other teammates carry. But something all tanks do have in common is that their early game's pretty weak. So if you play around their abilities, and you do it pretty smart, like, usually you can get a kill on them early. And then from there, like, if you have a lead on one of them early, you can just keep killing them over and over.
Should I just build cleaver? Like, do I build a normal build against tanks, or should I build like armor pen, like whisper? Or is it really like worth it?
It depends on how well you're doing. So 90% of your games, you want to go Warhammer first, just because the good stats it gives you, and then, you know, if you're up against a tank, you want to go Cleaver next. Let's say you're like 5-0, and this guy's getting really tanky, and Cleaver's not as useful anymore. Then you can stack, you know, you can get armor pin on top of that, because you're fed, and you can get something out of that item. But if you're not fed, you're even in lane, and you're not positive that you can get good value out of that last whisper and get kills from it, then you shouldn't invest in that. And it could be playstyle too. Let's say he plays really, really safe because he's scared of you now because you killed him once or twice. Then you know that you can't really do too much with the last whisper, so don't buy it.
Okay. Well.
So is that.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
I'm back.
Oh,
Continue.
other sauce. I was gonna say something in my chat.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah. But yeah, do you have any more questions or anything that I can answer?
It's hard to think off at the top of my head, but I know as soon as I hang up, I'm gonna be like, fuck.
Yeah,
what
you
would
can.
He do? What would he do if he fell behind like the game we played?
Wrong.
You got like 3 kills on him, and then you were ahead.
Wait,
And then you snowballed.
wait, sorry. Can you repeat that?
If he falls behind the lane, what should he do?
What should he do?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're behind in lane, like, you should just roam. I think that's the most important thing. Like, look for TP opportunities around the map. Try and go mid and impact mid, because you can't fight top. So there's really, you know, you can't really do too much in the top lane to secure a victory. So you just want to go help your other laners. Go help your solo laner, or your, you know, your AD carry, or your, if you're playing mid, then your top laner. Help them snowball and get really strong. And if you're 2v1, like, you're gonna win no matter what, no matter how weak you are. So, like, that's just what you should be doing when you're behind.
Yeah.
And if you're like Vayne or something, then just farm. That's all you gotta do. If you're someone that skills really well, just farm up and wait for the late game. And then in the late game, you'll be really useful in team fights, as long as you're not, you know, giving up too many kills and stuff.
Do you have any tips for Quinn? I've recently picked up on Quinn because like not a lot of people know about Quinn and how to like fight her, so it seems like pretty low.
Yeah, I don't play Quinn, but I know I keep repeating this. The most important, like, the biggest impact and the biggest decision you can make that will have the biggest impact is just roaming, because you're feeding your teammate and you're putting the enemy laner behind, and then also you can get damage off on a tower or even get a tower. But on Quinn, like, it's even more so important because you have so much, like, it's so easy for you to do. So whenever you get your ult up and the lane's pushed in or something like that, try and roam and try to do it often, because you don't get punished as hard for it because your ult gives you so much movement speed. So you can roam a lot. You can even invade if you get really strong. You can invade as much as you want, get vision down, and not even have to pretty much take the enemy jungler out of the game because he can't really do too much against you. So yeah, just use your, make sure you're utilizing your R. You know, it gives you a lot of movement speed, so use that movement speed to roam, gank other lanes, and like I said, you can even use that for jungle pressure as well.
What's the best way to fight like a Pantheon? Is it even like, should I even take trades with them, or just TP and just gank, roam?
Yeah, roaming's the best thing, but the biggest thing about Pantheon is that at level 6, he doesn't actually get a combat ult. If you use it correctly, I guess it could be a combat ult, but you can always just run away from it, like as anybody. Like, there's plenty of time to run away from it. So he doesn't really have a combat ult. So if you're in a 1v1 scenario, and you have an ult, and you, like he doesn't, then you have a pretty big advantage. So if it's an even lane, and it gets to level 6, if you're 100% even in items and everything, and it gets to level 6, then you have an advantage because you have an ult and he doesn't. So early, I like to start Dorn Shield, I like to start E. Make sure I don't take a lot of harass, make sure I'm not dying, try to get as much farm as possible. And then level 6 to like level 9 or so, I'll test my strength, see how strong I am, and if I'm really strong, then I go in for the kill. But before that point, if you don't have some kind of advantage, there's no reason for you to go for a kill, because he's a lot stronger than you.
His passive tilts me. I hate it.
Yeah, yeah. I can't even... It
stops my whole, like E-auto double cast combo. It stops, like, so many of my things. And it's with his stupid... His stun? His W, right? That resets his passive?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, look at that. Half my damage soaked up.
Yeah, it's annoying. Like, it's something you should definitely consider if you ever try to tower dive him or something. Because I've had my share of, my fair share of, you know, tower dive when he has 2 HP and then he stuns you and you auto him and then, you know, I don't know, like he just gets his passive up so much that you don't actually do any damage to him. You die for it, so you have to play for that. But yeah, I mean, and maybe it's not level 6, but like level 7 or level 8, you know, once you get an item spike or yeah, I'd say probably once you get a decent item spike, you should be able to win trades against them. If you're even in lane as well.
When should I build Ma, like Hex Drinker?
It's a really good rush against any AP champ, really. And the reason it's a good rush is because the full item's like super strong. Maul Mortius is, because it's easy to build into now, because you can get Caulfields as well. But also it gives you a lot of resistances, and then the lifeline passive as well is like super OP when it comes to trading with AP champs. Because with the lifeline passive, as long as you keep autoing people, then you're gonna keep getting lifesteal, and you're gonna keep getting HP back, and it gives you like 20 HP a hit with the passive whenever you're below like 30% health or something like that. So I always like to go Hex Drinker first, then you get your Caulfields. This is against like hard AP champs, and then you finish your Mama Mortius, and then you can build into like a Black Cleaver or Death Stance if you want Death Stance or whatever. But usually, you know, against hard AP champs, you want to rush the full Mama Mortius before anything.
And then into like Warhammer or like maybe. Not really a Black Cleaver you should build against like bruisers and tanks, right? Not really squishies.
No.
So I should build lethality against like squishies. So let's say it's like Kennen top, Orianna mid, and then like some squishies bot lane, like Soraka and like Misfortune.
I mean, yeah, it depends on like how you think they'll be building though, or how they actually build. So sometimes like I'll start building lethality, and then once I realize that these squishy champions are actually building tank, then I swap it up, because lethality is no longer what's good. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Lethality is better against squishy champs because it's almost a 1-to-1 translation in terms of armor and lethality. If you have 1 armor, it takes like 0.9 armor away from them if you have 1 lethality. So obviously, if you have an 80 carry that has 50 armor, and you take away 30 with your lethality item, and I think that's, like, a lot of items will give you, like, 10 lethality. So let's say you have 3 items. You're taking away 30 lethality. You're almost doing true damage to them. So you're going to one-shot them. But if you take away 30 lethality, or if you take away 30 armor from a tank that has 200 armor, then it's literally nothing. It's a waste. So
Yeah.
in that sense, it's better to go armor pen, because the armor pen takes a percentage of their armor. So the more armor they have, the stronger. And lethality is the opposite. The less armor they have, the stronger it is.
So the best way to fight against the Singed, you know how Singed will like go in between your tier 1 and tier 2 towers and farm like the waves before they come?
Yeah.
Should you just let him, or should you bring the jungler up and go at him?
It really depends. Level 1, I actually will sit in the common bushes that Singe likes to play in. My last game, I thought everyone was watching, so I thought we had everything covered, but we didn't. But usually I'll sit in the bush that they like to go in, like by the red buff. And then I'll try to kill them, like as soon as they show up.
Do you beat Singed level 1?
Yes, you always beat Singe.
Really?
Yes, always.
Okay.
I would wait till 3 to be safe, because it's easier to beat him when you're 3, when you have all abilities and you can stun him and get away if he's about to kill you, and etc. Or use your shield for his poison or whatever. But you always beat him, as long as you have fervor. As long as you keep autoing him, like, you win. So like I said, level 1, you stop him from proxying. You kill him if he tries to. And then you force him to go in lane if he doesn't proxy, right? Then he's going to walk back to lane. And if you're laning, you don't let him farm. If he goes for farm, then you go to trade, because you win trades. So you don't let him farm, and you win from that. Usually when I'm, like, 90% of the time when I go up against Singe players, I carry, like, really hard. I get really fed. Because a lot of them get really impatient, and they like to go for farm a lot, like even in Diamond elo.
What's the best way to engage on like a team fight? So let's say the ADC's like staying in the back line and you don't have flash because Riven doesn't have any like engages, and then like, I don't know, like EQ, like all that stuff. Like what would be the best way?
Like I said, if you're an assassin and you're looking to engage, you want to flank. Like if the fight's in the mid lane, use one of the bushes and try to get behind them or get to the side of them, and then you can just run right up to the carries. But I mean, it's hard to say without like a specific scenario and like, knowing what like I don't know, just knowing a lot about whether they have what sums and whatnot. Sorry, what'd you say?
You could zone them, just like showing up like beside them, like spooking them, so they back up a little bit.
Yeah, that's good, but it's only good if the fight's already happened. It's not good as an engage. But yeah, I mean, that's something that's really good. Like if you're doing really bad, if you're like 0 and 10 and the AD carry is really fed, you can walk up to the AD carry in fights and just keep them out of the fight, or keep them focused on you, so the fed person's on you and not on your teammates, on your fed teammates and whatnot.
The Riven combo where you have your ult popped and you E and you throw your ult and you flash and double cast and hit like the people before your wave hits them. You know that combo?
Yep.
Is that really worth it compared to the other ones out there? And if it is, when should you use it?
I think that's probably one of the only combos that's really like worth it, I guess. But it's really situational dependent. It's really just good for catching people off guard. Like, people won't expect it, honestly. That's the main reason why it's good. So it's also only good when you can one-shot people, because you're using all your abilities at once. So if you can't one-shot them, or if you can't put them in a scenario where they die because of that, like maybe like you stun them and set them up for your team to kill them or finish them off or whatever, then it's not worth going for it, because you're using your flash and you're completely committing to that and using all your abilities and everything. So afterwards, after that's all over, you're really, really vulnerable. So I'd only use it if you're comfortable with getting that other person killed.
Okay, I think that about sums it up for me.
All right, that was you had a lot of questions. That was pretty good. Usually lessons like these 1v1s don't last that long. So I hope I was able to answer everything. But yeah, I mean, if you have any more questions or anything, you can add me on the League, or you can message me through my stream. I'm gonna try to answer them for you.
I already know I'm gonna hang up an hour later and just be like, fuck. But
yeah, that's why I said, like, if you have any questions, feel free. Like, don't be afraid to ask me, whatever it is.
What's your stream?
It's PhoenixOfOrder. I'll link it in the Discord. Yeah, if you're interested, I'm usually... Oh, right, that reminds me. Let me give you that YouTube video as well, where I go over the builds and stuff. It's kind of an old video, but it's still pretty relevant. And also, it's not very organized. Because I don't know, I wasn't really thinking when I made it, but... I'll link it to you. Here it is. It's also on Discord as well. And the shop.
Thumbnail.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to stick with the clickbait thumbnails.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it's not too organized, but I go over a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff that I don't cover, I actually answer in the comments or in the Reddit thread that's in the description. So, you know, if there's other items that you want to know about, then it's probably already answered. But yeah, I mean, if that's it, we can about wrap things up.
Cool.
Are we good?
I think we're good.
Alright, man. Like I said, if you have any more questions or anything, you know, I'll be on stream, I'll be on League. But yeah, other than that, it was nice talking to you. I'll see you later, man.
Yeah.
Alright. I think there's actually like a lot of comments on here that I haven't answered. Let's see. Not really, actually. Oh, there's a few. How about if you have a few? Those are so long ago, it'd be kind of awkward dancing on them now, though.
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
Hey, thanks, Blood Dragon, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. But Pharaoh, if you're still here, I can answer your questions now that you had. Sorry, I didn't want to answer, like, too many during, you know, the lesson, because it's kind of rude. Don't blame your teammates, you can always do better. That's a good motto. I have a question, why won't you carry me? Dude, it makes me play worse in my actual ELO when I play it, when I smurf and stuff. That's why I don't have, like, an actual smurf. Like, if I smurf, I play on my friends' accounts. I don't have an account that I play on. I have one that's, like, level 13 or something like that, but it's not really a ranked account. Play risky and get poacher's knife? No, poacher's knife's not that good at all. I mean, maybe if you're like constantly invading, but I don't know, like it takes so long to finish it, you know? Alright. Man, I'm kind of hungry after all that talking. My throat's kind of dry too. I'll be right back. Give me a second, guys. I'll be back in like a minute or so. I'm not going anywhere though, so stay tuned. I'll turn the music up for you guys too. I'm back.